You think you know how the world works, right? But what if I told you there are hidden rules running everything? Rules that explain why you drive the way you do, why your dream job pays what it does, everything. And once you see these rules, you can't unsee them. But they are absolutely not what you think.
For instance, get this. What if making cars safer with things like seatbelts actually causes more accidents? How is that even possible?
Or how about this one? Those workplace safety laws we fought so hard for? What if, in some situations, they actually make life worse for the very people they're supposed to protect? And my favorite, why on earth are tickets for the biggest sold-out concerts on the planet so cheap? I mean, demand is insane. They could charge anything, yet they don't. It just doesn't make any sense, right? Well, there's a reason. Welcome to Animeconomy. The world can feel totally random, just chaotic. But what if it's not? What if there's a hidden logic, a kind of code, that once you crack it, gives you a completely new way of seeing? Well, everything? Today, our guide to cracking that code is Steven Landsburg's fantastic book, The Armchair Economist. And let me tell you, this isn't some dry textbook about money. Oh no, it's a masterclass in seeing the invisible forces that are pulling the strings in your life every single day.
We are going to learn the 3 fundamental techniques that Landsburg teaches to see this hidden logic. But you have to stick around for the end, because the final lesson, it ties everything together in a way that will completely change how you see your place in the world. Seriously, let's get into it. All right, first things first. To see the world like an economist, you've got to understand that life is kind of like a game. And the number 1 rule of this game, it's the incredible power of incentives.
So what's an incentive? It's simple, really. It's just a reason to do something, a reward you want or a punishment you want to avoid. And according to Landsburg, this is the most powerful force on the planet. Why? Because people respond to incentives, always, and often in ways nobody saw coming.
Let's circle back to that first puzzle. Why safer cars might be deadly. The goal of seatbelt laws was obvious, right? Make you safer if you crash. But here's the twist. That feeling of safety creates a brand new incentive. Because you feel safer, the cost of driving recklessly goes down in your mind. So you might speed a little more or check your phone, which leads to more accidents. The policy didn't just protect drivers, it changed how they drive.
And you see this weird logic everywhere. Make cars super fuel efficient to save gas? Well, that just lowers the cost of driving, so people drive more, wiping out some of the savings. You market safer cigarettes? Some people just smoke more of them. And football helmets? The better they get, the more players feel like they can use their head as a battering ram, which, crazily enough, can lead to more head injuries. You know, the author himself wasn't immune to this. He tells this great story about how he used to back his car into things all the time. The repair was cheap, like $180. He just figured, it's the cost of parking. But then he got a new car, and a little bump was going to cost him over $500. The incentive changed, big time. His quote says it all. "I have not backed into anything since." That financial pain completely changed his behavior.
So that's the first superpower, seeing the invisible strings. When you see a new rule or a new product, don't just look at what it's supposed to do. Ask yourself, what behavior does this incentivize? That's where the real story is.
Okay, so if incentives are the strings pulling us in different directions, our next lesson shows us the massive force that makes sure no single opportunity stays amazing for very long. It's this constant, great balancing act happening all around us. Landsburg calls this the indifference principle. It works like this. Imagine you open a motel in a town and it's making a killing. It's super profitable. Well, that huge profit is an incentive. Your neighbors see your success and they go, "Hey, I want a piece of that." So they build motels too. Suddenly there's more competition, so you all have to lower your prices to get customers. This keeps happening until running a motel is just meh. It's no more profitable than, say, opening a gas station. At that point, the extra profit is gone. It's vanished. So if all the easy profits get competed away, how does anyone ever get and stay rich? Well, the answer lies in owning something that can't be easily copied, a fixed resource. This could be a one-of-a-kind talent, a patent on a new invention, or a perfect piece of land right on the beach. Let's watch this play out. Let's say a new law requires crazy expensive training to be a barber. Who does that hurt? Not the existing barbers. It makes it harder for new people to compete, so they can charge more for a haircut. The customer is the one who really pays. Or if the government gives money to motel owners, do they get rich? Nope. More people just build motels until the profits are gone again. But a subsidy for farms is different. Why? Because you can't just create more farmland. It's a fixed resource, so that money goes straight to the farmers. You know, if this shift in perspective is clicking for you, if you're starting to see things a little differently, help someone else do the same. Just take a second to hit that like button and share this with them. It really helps more people find these ideas. So we've got incentives pulling the strings and the indifference principle balancing everything out. This third and final technique is about understanding the most powerful information system ever designed, one that gets billions of us to cooperate without anyone being in charge. I mean, stop and think about it for a second. How does a single tomato get from a farm 1,000 miles away to your kitchen? It takes farmers, truckers, factory workers, grocers, millions of people all working together. But there's no global tomato director telling everyone what to do. So how in the world does it work?
The answer is so simple, it's beautiful. It all happens through prices.
See, a price isn't just a number. It's a tiny, concentrated package of information. Someone who only eats local food might just be thinking about the cost of fuel to transport a tomato. But an economist sees so much more packed into that price tag. It contains the cost of heating the greenhouse, the cost of the farmer's time, and most importantly, the opportunity cost. That's a huge one. Maybe that land could have been used to grow super valuable grapes for wine. The price reflects all of that, all the scarcity, all the demand, and sends that signal out to the entire world instantly. This is Adam Smith's famous invisible hand. A single price for wheat automatically ensures that the next bushel is grown by the farmer who can do it most efficiently, not because some bureaucrat ordered them to, but because the price gave them the incentive. The price system is like a giant invisible orchestra conductor, coordinating this incredibly complex economic dance with a simple wave of the baton. It's breathtaking, really. Okay, so let's put it all together. We've learned to see the incentives that drive us, the balancing act that levels the playing field, and the powerful information hidden inside every single price. We've learned the real rules of the game. So the big question is, what do you do with this knowledge, with this new way of seeing the world? It might be tempting to look at everything and get a bit cynical, to see it all as cold and calculated. But Landsburg says that's missing the point entirely.
See, the point isn't to judge people's choices. It's to understand them. This way of thinking assumes that people, even when they do things that seem totally bizarre to us, are doing them for a reason. They're trying to achieve some goal. The real game, the real challenge, is to figure out what that goal is. It's a tool for understanding, maybe even for empathy.
And that brings us to the final big question for you. When you start to see the world like this, as this giant web of incentives and consequences, does it make you feel more free because now you know the rules of the game you're playing? Or does it make you feel more responsible because you realize that every single choice you make sends a ripple through that entire system? I'd love to hear what you think in the comments.
And to really master these principles, there is no substitute for going to the source. So click the link in the description to grab your own copy of The Armchair Economist.
Thank you so much for watching.